I know you must have stumbled upon this restoration trend of Thomas the Tank, whereby these small channels are getting hundreds of thousands of views, and in this case, millions of views. And so I decided to take this car restoration trend that is already going viral and take videos like this one and turn it into a completely different story with a voiceover, music, sound effects, and a structure that actually holds attention. And before you start typing reused content, relax. I didn't re-upload it, I transformed it.
Thomas stops feeling like a character and starts feeling like something designed to look friendly.
And that's the video I made. So in this video today, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. The rules that I followed to make it my own. Exactly how I came up with the story, the editing blueprint. And I'm going to try to show you this in record time. I may go past a minute or two, but it's still going to be record time. And so I took a little bit of a different approach in this one. I found the best clips from each of these viral videos, just getting the main parts that I'll use for my story. I told ChatGPT something like this: generate a 100% 30 to 40 second YouTube short script about discovering an abandoned Thomas train, taking us through the entire process of fully restoring it. Make sure the storytelling is really good. While this was thinking, crafting the 40-second script as it's saying here, opened up 11 labs, found the most appropriate voice for this. I think it's this guy.
A man is not old as long as he is seeking something.
And by the time I found that, came back over here and the script was ready. So I just copied this entire script, pasted it into here. Yes, I would have added a few full stops here and there and moved things around because I thought it would have flowed better this way. Upon generating, dropped it into CapCut, and then I spent a little time. Because it is a YouTube short, there were several spaces that I did not need. So I just spent a little time selecting the cutting tool and shortening the script so that there's not much pauses. I know the voiceover would sound like this.
Checking if this is real. Up close, the paint is snitching.
And so I repeated that process for the rest of the voiceover. And I did work up to that roughly 40 seconds time frame. And now that I had that, the next thing was to get the video clips. And so to get all of the clips that I need, I used OBS Studio to do that. There's a lot of screen recording softwares, but I just think this is the simplest to use. Once I got that sorted out, the next thing was to find the clips that I'm going to screen record. And as I mentioned previously, I searched up car restoration, Thomas the Tank. And I thought it made sense to only get into the videos that got a lot of views. Those videos that actually did go viral. This one, not so bad, because this was just from one day ago. But there are much better performing videos than that one. Like this one, from just a month ago, 735,000 views, less than 10,000 subscribers. So I just open this in one tab and do the same for this one. Because as you can see, 1,000 subscribers, over 300,000 views on that video. And specifically, this one got over 5 million views for a reason. So I think I'll be taking a lot of inspiration from this one. And now that I have all of the YouTube videos that I need to get video clips from, the next thing I'll do to put some structure to this to make sure that I'm getting the right video clips that I need is I will listen to the voiceover. Listen to this first one.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
And then I'll find the video clip that is suitable to that voiceover line. And after going through those few videos I have here, I thought this one was the best to open that part. And so what I did is hit start recording in OBS Studio while that is playing. Then I'll stop recording that. And that clip that I generated, I would drop it here, back into CapCut. The difference here now is that this is landscape, and that's pretty much just this aspect ratio. So instead of 16:9, it's 9:16. And then this was the outcome there.
Thomas the Tank Engine. Abandoned in the woods. They're
Listen to this next line.
checking if this is real. Up close, the paint is snitching.
And so this is the only thing that takes some time. And what I mean by that is going through the different videos to find the most appropriate clips. But the good thing is it doesn't have to be the exact clip for the line I'm saying, because it's not like this is a tutorial on how to actually restore a train. It's pretty much a story I'm telling. So as long as it's suitable enough. And I think this one was exactly what I needed for that line. So again, what I'll do is rewind that, hit start recording. And when I'm finished with that, I'll hit stop and drop that exported clip into CapCut, making sure that it is lined up properly. And this is a little bit different in that I'm editing it while I'm finding the clips. You can either get all of the clips that you need first and then drop it into CapCut. Or sometimes I like to do this when I want to say I'm saving time, but sometimes just seeing the progress being made helps get through the video. And if you notice here in the original clip, camera's in the center, but because it's wide, it gets to cover everything on the screen. The difference here, it's a YouTube short. I've added some movements on the camera because you can see this is the entire width of the clip. So it starts on this side while the person is opening the door. And then what I did is I came up to here by position and I click this keyframe. And this is the starting point. So I click there, and at the end of the clip, well, basically the end where his hand actually meets this part, I just clicked and dragged the entire rectangle to the position I needed. And so this is the outcome for that.
They're checking if this is real.
And so I simply repeated this process for the entire voiceover, getting all of the clips, the most appropriate clips for each of the lines. As you can see, I did the same thing here again, where at the beginning of this clip, I added the keyframe. It's right here. And at the ending, the position changed. So I moved it across, which is why the video looks and sounds like this for this clip.
Not random holes.
And I think it took maybe about 20 minutes to get all of the different clips I needed for this video, cutting some of them short, making sure that it aligned up perfectly with the story. But it still wasn't enough. I needed to put some closed captions after that, because not everybody opens YouTube Shorts and listens. First, they need to see the text on the screen. Sometimes they don't even put on the audio. Do you? But anyway, how I did it was literally a click of a button. I came up to captions, picked a template. I think I might have chosen something in trending. Now I'm seeing this one. Maybe I should have used this. Actually, it's just as easy to change the color of the font as it is to simply switch the entire font on the whole, the template. And how this works is as soon as you click an option,
Thomas the Tank Engine, abandoned in the...
It's just to hit generate captions after. And here's what I got at the beginning.
Thomas the Tank Engine, abandoned in the woods. They're checking if this is real. Up close, the paint...
The captions was almost perfect without any changes needed, but there were the few cases where I needed to come in, maybe change one or two words, and adjust the size of the caption on the screen. And you could either do that by just simply coming here and moving this, or by adjusting the font size right here. Here's where the color could have easily been changed, but I thought this was fine. And now that I had this, there was only one thing left to do. Because this YouTube short, so far I think it looks and sounds really good.
Pressure washer straight to the face. A hook drops in.
But in most documentaries, animations like this, the music in the background is what I find really uplifts the story. And so to get some free to use music, I headed over to Pixabay, clicked music, and searched for something like emotional cinematic music. But I just wanted something simple with some piano music that was, I want to say, a little bit emotional. I guess it's meant to be a bit sad since the tank was abandoned. And not only after it was restored, there was no happy ending. There was also a sad ending, which is why I was so creative with my search here that I typed emotional cinematic piano. And after a long search of like 3 songs, I found something and I dropped it into CapCut. Made sure to adjust the levels because I didn't want the volume of the music to be louder than the voiceover. So I made sure to drop this significantly. And this is what the last 12 seconds of the YouTube short looks like.
The yellow number goes on. Wheels roll in. Bolts tighten. Inside the cab. Controls polished. Coal gets shoveled in. Thomas is on track again, rolling through green hills, but it refuses to stay wholesome. So let's go back in the woods.
There you have it. That's pretty much it. That was the entire process of finding a viral idea, generating that YouTube short script quickly, using 11 labs to get the voiceover, and then using this free recording software OBS Studio to get all of the video clips that I needed from the different popular videos on this topic online. Dropped all of those screen recordings into CapCut, added captions automatically, and dropped the background music in here as well. And so the plan here now is to hit export, upload this, and then simply repeat this process by uploading many of these relevant and related videos like this one. And maybe, just maybe, one of them is going to pop off and get views just like this one. Well, that is the plan. And so while I go ahead and do that, you could go ahead and look at this video next when I do this similar approach, but of that viral renovation time-lapse trend. And you can still check that out here.